Yo, what's up? We live? What's going on, guys? Happy Wednesday. What is Wednesday? Uh, I forgot what Monday was. Tuesday, handsome Tuesday. What's Wednesday? What's going on, guys? Happy Wednesday. Hear it. What is Wednesday? So we are live. You guys can't see me. I just noticed that. There we go. What's going on, guys? What is Monday? Magic Monday, handsome Tuesday. I might make Wednesday White Belt Wednesday. We'll see. We'll see how I feel about that. White Belt Wednesday. Today a little bit slow. It's a holiday week, guys. We got Fourth of July over here. Yeah, we got 4th of July. We ain't streaming on Friday. Friday, I'm training and eating. Probably Saturday. I probably won't stream on Saturday either. Usually don't stream on the weekend. So I'm going to give you guys a couple days off from me. I know you get tired of hearing my voice, so we're going to get right into the stories. Pretty chill day today. Let me figure out where my camera is. There we go. Oh, no. There we go. So they say, who's winning heavyweight next year? That's not the clip I thought it would be. They changed this. So I believe AJ Ferrari might be going to Nebraska. That's some big news. Wow. Who would have guessed that? AJ Ferrari, Nebraska. Okay. Isaac Trumbull, NC State. Okay. Younger Bastida, Iowa State. Alrighty. Tay Godelli. Might be messing that up. Michigan. Okay. And maybe somebody else. So we'll see who's at heavyweight. Gable. They got Gable out of there. Gable gone. Gable, I don't know where Gable's going. He could go. I want to see him wrestle international though, bro. We don't know what he wants to do. He want to play football. He got that. He had that 1 year. He had last year of wrestling, and then he was doing WWE. He might go into MMA. So whatever acronym he wants to get into. Flo says heavyweight is stacked next year. Who's winning it all? Says no Gable and no Wyatt. Will be more fun to see who can come out on top. Yeah, we don't got the usual suspects. Ferrari, as long as he's healthy, I don't care if he has no heavyweight experience. I'm sure he adjusts just fine. Yeah, I'm not sure. This is gonna be the next 2 years of wrestling. Gonna be really exciting. Penn State. We don't know what Penn State gonna be up to. This is kind of cool. Can't play that music, but it says, send 2 to 3 years to Dagestan. You come back, Stefan Mikic. So pretty funny, they got the kid getting taken down and parents send him out to Dagestan. Some of us need to go to Dagestan. I will go to wrestle a little bit, but mostly to hang out, ride horses and, do cool stuff. Mashallah, brother. Dagestan taking over. You have Dagestan in Chicago. You got Dagestan in America. We were talking to one of the guys, Chef Angie. He was saying how all the Dagestani guys would come to like New Jersey, New York back in the day. So we got Dagestan here in America too. So pretty funny. I like the wrestlers, man. They got their humor. Usually pretty down to earth until you hit Pat Downey.
They said, hey, like, can you help us out? Can you help Jack Della beat Bilal Muhammad? And we just fixed his wrestling overnight. So now we got exciting strikers taking the belts.
What's the strategy? How do you beat wrestling?
I mean, first of all, you're not going to have the most intelligent human being in the sport of wrestling like some of us articulate, high social skills people in jiu-jitsu. It's basically jocks versus autistic people. We're going to win the war. You know what I mean? Really, it's just they have the takedown, they have the initiation, but they have no follow-up. They're confused. It's like a dog chasing a car. They don't know what to do once they get it. In wrestling, they get the pin. It's over. The referee saves them. They stand back up. That's where jiu-jitsu takes over. So it's a huge hole. For me, it's not a big problem. Get taken down. That's what we take over.
Is sitting down a solution?
That's kind of the joke of the sport. Imagine if you spent your whole life dedicated to an art where the goal was to take the other person down, but you never spent any time, thought, or effort into thinking what.
Jason says, has Penn State ever had a Kirk Liet? Wasn't he good? I never say his last name right. You know, the kid that did CJI. He was okay. I don't know if he won NCAAs, but yeah, I don't know if they had any good heavyweights. Who they had this year? Yeah, it was Kirk Liet, right? So it's Craig Jones. We've heard this video a couple times, but you know, Craig's he's not even allowed at the UFC no more. So, I mean, he can still coach. Someone says, I love Craig Jones in jiu-jitsu, but you can't deny most of the dominant champions in the UFC are wrestlers, especially the Khabib Dagestani crew. What do you mean by most dominant? People have a very short memory. I don't remember any Dagestani champion outside of Khabib that, you know, was defending championships left and right. You know, John Jones, while he was a wrestler, he became a striker. Nobody can name you can't tell the Dagestani people apart. You know, wrestling is just one combination of MMA. But the most iconic people in MMA usually had a striking. We're more focused on striking. You know, I don't care who you are. Whatever grappling you do, eventually you got to add striking to your art. You know, Khabib got away with a lot. But most every other fighter has to, and a couple other guys got away with just grappling. But usually you got to start adding strikes and becoming dominant that way. I mean, if you want to become a superstar, it's not going to happen with grappling. You know, if you want to become a Conor McGregor, it's not going to happen with grappling. You want to become GSP, not going to happen with grappling. You want to become Anderson Silva, not going to happen with grappling. Mighty Mouse, not just pure grappling. John Jones is a better striker than he is a grappler. Khabib has some hands too. He also cut a lot of weight. I mean, there's some other champions you could say. You know, if anything, I think the training of wrestling is more, you know, condition based. It's very similar to MMA rounds. You know, wrestling's 2-3 minute rounds. Very similar to the 5 minute round kind of format. You know, it just lends itself to more strenuous activity. Striking too, yeah, some of the striking too, you know. Jiu-jitsu can be a little bit too chill, you know. We don't really have short rounds like that, you know. ADCC 6 minutes, everything about 5 minutes. We don't really have 3-minute rounds. 5-minute rounds usually like blue belt level. Danny Choppa says, "Howdy fellas, hopefully no bad penetrate." Yeah, I think we okay today. Thank God, man. It's been so much drama. I needed a break. I mean, I love the drama. I know you guys love the drama, but it was like too much. We need some drama from jiu-jitsu now. We got to spread that drama out. Someone says they are not wrestlers. Dagestani crew uses a mix of wrestling, sambo, and BJJ adapted to MMA. That is true. Islam has 7 submissions. That you don't learn that in wrestling. Well, you know, catch wrestling you do, but he does like arm bars and stuff. So yeah, you can't just consider the Dagestani guys just pure wrestlers. They be doing judo throws, a little bit of sambo. They do a little bit of everything. So they really are mixing the martial art. That's why they're successful. And they got their whole country behind it. You put a whole country behind something, you're going to be good at it. Wrestling, think about Jamaica. Put the whole country behind sprinting and track and field, you get some amazing athletes. I'm trying to think of another country that's very similar. Japan and judo, they created judo. Of course they're good at it. I'm trying to think of another country that just dominates their sport. I don't know. Whatever other sport you guys can think of. But yeah, Craig Jones no longer allowed at UFC. Completely understandable. He blew up a blow up doll of Dana White with the grenade launcher, missile launcher. Flo. How do you guys feel about Flo Grappling's coverage of all this stuff?
What makes the Huskers such an attractive destination?
The narrative around Nebraska was really good team. They've had really good teams every single year, putting it together NCAAs. They hadn't done that in a really, really long time. And then they did in a major way and became the story in a lot of ways of the NCAA tournament. And so now they have a commitment at the senior level, or they've had success. I don't know how many guys they actually have there training. So maybe that's a question there, but their development's good.
And if you're worried about, can I be successful on the senior level here, they have the trump card of Jordan Burroughs. Like, if you actually put in the time and investment here, you can do it here.
Mm-hmm.
So, with the whole Penn State and Iowa, Nebraska and Oklahoma State are set to benefit, the most from all this stuff. So it says Cornhusker stock going up. Winning solves a lot of life's problems. Well, they did a really good job at last NCAAs. They had I think they had two winners, right? They definitely had two finalists. So they're doing really well. You got to remember Nebraska, same college that produced JB. Says the Huskers have Jordan Burroughs, but much, much more. Assistant coach James Green has had a lot of success in freestyle. Yeah, James Green. The Huskers also have Tervel Dalgnev, who has had international success. These guys are led by Mark Manning and Brian Snyder. Someone said, knowing about the allegations against the only 5-time champ and purposely avoiding news says a lot about Flow Wrestling, and none of it is good. The happiest person in the room has to be Bo Bassett, who had his silly maneuver all but erased from history. It says Flow Wrestling has always favored the Big Three, but especially Penn State. That's the biggest market for wrestling fans. Look at their videos, and you'll see that pretty much all they talk about. They have always done what makes the most money. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, so Flow Wrestling been under fire a little bit, You guys got to remember, Flow Wrestling is a private entity, private organization. So, same thing with Flow Grappling, private entity, private organization. Well, they're the same organization. They're in the same building.
Crazy 6 weeks that Penn State has gone through is just so uncharted territory for this program. And I think that's really revealed itself over the last 6 weeks. Really, all they've known is winning, dominance. They're the dominant force, not just in wrestling. They're the dominant NCAA program of programs. They are the best. Cale and his staff are regarded as the best college coaches in any sport. And there is an element of competitive secrecy. It's more kids out now, but you don't really understand the training necessarily. It's just bits and pieces, how they get so good. That's part of the Penn State sort of ethos, right? It's like, it's in-house, right? They keep it quiet. They don't want everyone knowing how they train and how they get so good. I mean, these three things, the Snyder thing, the Aaron Brooks thing, and this Starachi Bo Bartlett article, these are all three like the most insane things that have happened on their own. Would be like kind of the craziest thing that's happened, and it all happens in a month. Whereas you go back 10, 15 years, there's hardly anything, right? It's been nothing but really good news. And my point being, they haven't really been in this situation before or knowing how to act, react, how to handle something like this. And I think that's sort of rearing itself in some way. Penn State and Nittany Lion. And
so, Flow Wrestling couldn't avoid talking about Penn State. I mean, I've been talking about Penetration State. I've been talking about all these dudes for at least a month or two. I'm hoping to God they stay on their best behavior. Carter Strachey, stop messing up over there. Carter, they definitely gonna catch Carter or something. Allegedly. This is uncharted territory for Penn State. I'm sorry, but no grocery store item is popping you on a drug test for PEDs. Aaron Brooks, did he mention Aaron Brooks? I don't even think he mentioned Aaron Brooks, did he? I mean, they sell that supplement, the DHEA. I don't know. You figure these dudes would be smart enough to check stuff before they, ingest it. But what do I know? What do I know? This is unbelievably false. There are an unreal amount of over-the-counter supplements that would get you popped. Someone says these boys on I don't know what they eat over there, and they have some stuff, some supplements. Well, we kind of talked about the DHEA could possibly be for a masking agent. It could be, I don't know. It could have been just he messed up. Says you can purchase DHEA at vitamin shops and use to be able to at CVS and Walgreens. I don't know why they don't put nothing on the bottle over there. All right, not you saw the safe. They do tell you, we read the ingredients for one of the products. They do say you need to talk to your doctor about that. So that lets you know everything you need to know. If they say talk to your doctor, I mean, they always tell you if there's some side effects, talk to your doctor. But they're saying you talk to your doctor to figure out the right amount of pills. That was a red flag to me. It is a hormone though. It is a hormone, the DHEA. I don't know, bro. You should have known that. That's like one of the most common things you should know. You competing internationally, bro. You should know better. Says now as far as the rest of the team or other potential substances Brooks is taking, I'm not sure. Won't confirm or deny. It didn't just start. It is in uncharted territory. Andrew Long incident was in 2010. They have a culture of silence that broke down this year. I mean, Penn State always had a culture of silence. Didn't they have the Sandusky situation? Which I didn't really follow. I wasn't really, I think I wasn't young, but I wasn't really following it too much back then. But Penn State has a history of this stuff. Are you mad because Cornell's greatest wrestler went Penn State RTC and that Cornell's second greatest got beat by a PSU high school commit? It says your opposition to this comment directly points to your blind eye on Penn State behavior. Blind eye equals supportive. How does Penn State boot taste? Do you like leather? Says Tarachi and Bartlett. Jason, he says, I find it interesting how much Penn State is protecting Kale so much. It's not like they are a major sport in college like football or basketball that brings in millions. Actually, I figure it does bring in millions. Pennsylvania is different. I'm not sure where you are, Jason Whitfield, but they might be bringing in millions just for the wrestling. State College be packed, bro. Every dual meet, every wrestling event is packed usually. So they might be bringing in a couple $1 million every year. I don't know the figures, but I would assume, with the gate, people paying to get into the, the wrestling dual meets, it's got to be up there. Merchandise, they'd be selling a lot of Penn State wrestling merchandise for sure. When we gonna hang? Yeah, they're not gonna mention that about Carter. Braden Davis. They didn't even talk about Braden Davis. Says he got caught underage drinking and tried to flee the cops. He also wrestled with the cops. So that's I forget what that's called. Assault. Yeah, that might be assault to the cop. Says police have charged Braden Davis, a 20-year-old sophomore for the Nittany Lions, with defiant trespass, evading arrest, and resisting arrest, as well as summary offenses of underage drinking and public drunkenness. Someone said fighting with a police officer isn't comparable to Carter's accusation. Well, it's still not good. That was barely news in the first place. Well, that's because Flow Wrestling and other people weren't covering it. I covered that. I've been covering a lot of wrestling. We're gonna make this BJJ and wrestling news from now on. I still don't believe it's a good look for a Penn State wrestling program. So normal Penn State University behavior. It says why don't you say what happened? Risk of getting sued. That's why I always say allegedly. If Flo was forced to talk about this but not take a stance. It says problem is they took a stance. They stood with Carter. Flo always gives PSU a pass. Upper limit problems. Flo should have anyone but Piles handling this story, but it's entertainment nonetheless. Says not so uncharted if you remember the football issue. Let's not cover up and protect each other too hard. Ignorance isn't okay either. Someone says, anyone think it's weird that I'm gonna just say Flo called the article a hit piece and called Bo's wife attention seeking? Probably not the best take. It said Flo should be cut for disrespecting this man's wife. Well, not Flo, but the guy. It's almost like he cares more about protecting Penn State and Carter's legacy and reputation rather than his survivors. You would think a journalist would understand the need to protect the identities of said survivors. This is such a partial piece of media. It's honestly baffling. I get that maintaining respect for all athletes is important for Flo to continue to get exclusive content, but at the same time, reporting the accurate and real news in wrestling world to us fans is what pays their bills. Giving fans the real news without calling people attention-seeking and deeming the words of an athlete who has stayed away from trouble his whole career a hit piece is frankly an injustice to the fans who deserve impartial and honest news. Without fans, there is no Flow, and the bias extremely partial to Penn State and Flow's handling of this could honestly be their downfall. Carter Sandusky. My man Carter, he taking it right now. Kale was complacent. I remember another Penn State coach who was complacent as well. You know, it has been bad if Nickel isn't running his mouth. Nickel over there talking about Bo Bassett. He ain't said nothing about his alma mater. It's not uncharted for the football program. Seems like maybe the university would not make the same mistake twice. Uncharted because it's becoming public and they're getting caught. It's been happening for longer than 6 weeks. Says, guys, for the love of God, just denounce Carter's behavior and say if it's all true, that would be awful and consequence worthy. Don't talk about Bo's wife having an axe to grind. That's not helpful to anyone involved. For Penn State wrestling, this is uncharted, but another program was part of a scandal at the university. Let's hope history isn't repeating itself, as it took years for the athletic program to recover. Since almost all schools had their share of unsavory situations occur, I don't think anyone affiliated with a program under suspicion of something would want the negative publicity. When the dust settles, PSU will still reign as NCAA champs. So we'll keep you guys updated. I'm hoping Penn State. I'm hoping nothing happens at Penn State. I'm tired of talking about them. And then talking about wrestling, we got Claw, Champions League American Wrestling. They have an event this month, I believe, is their first event, the 21st or 25th, one of those days, and it says 21st of July. And they say they have 217 total entries. So that's really great. 20 D1 All-Americans, 51 D1 NCAA qualifiers, 2 D1 NCAA champions. What champions did they get? They got 3 D2 NCAA champions and 4 world team members, 48 entries at 134, which was their most, and 22 entries at 199, their least. So seems pretty amazing. I'm gonna keep my eye on this. We're gonna see what happens. It's gonna be in Atlantic City, and they said names coming soon. We are verifying data to ensure accuracy and for other reasons. Mock drafts will be fun. And it says, does the team get rights to the athletes for multiple years, or is it a new draft every year? Where can we view the list of registries? We got Claw coming through. We also got Real American Freestyle RAF. So we'll see who's all out there, man. This might be worth going to if you guys are going to be in New Jersey. I might be going home by then. Yeah. Well, how long have I been here for? I've been here for like a month. I think that'll be another month. Yeah, so we'll see. Hopefully I'm home by then, but you guys go check it out for me. Reacting to Aaron Brooks, we got Flo finally talking about Aaron Brooks over here.
The banned substance is something called DHEA, and the Brooks camp is saying that this was something he took. Aaron in the past, he had double pneumonia over the spring, was hospitalized for it. And so what he's saying is that, yes, this is something he purchased at Wegmans and he took in order to help himself feel better, help himself heal or whatever. This is one for me where I do have, it's hard to not be cynical. I have a hard time drawing a connection between DHEA and recovery from pneumonia. And all the reading I did about it and research I did, it doesn't seem to align with something that's going to help someone recovering from pneumonia. There's just a higher standard when you're an athlete of Aaron's renown for what you do. And this is someone, Aaron, who already had a previous dust up. To me, that was the wake-up call where you just got to be super locked in. And you can't just be ingesting anything that you get at a grocery store. DHEA is not an obscure banned substance. This is something that many athletes have been tested positive for and been suspended for it.
You could say he had it one time, and so it's like, okay, well, it's believable that he doesn't think about things
that's
like
true.
that, where it's just like, okay, yeah, like I'm competing, I'm gonna, take this or take whatever, and he's not really thinking about the consequences.
The banned substances.
I mean, Aaron Brooks don't really think, that park and recreation degree. That degree in Parks and Recreation kind of says it all. I don't know what kind of athlete just takes random stuff before, I'm not sure when USADA or WADA, whoever tested him. I'm not sure when they tested him. But why is he taking random stuff, man? That don't make no sense. Now he out for 2 years. Almost 3. I don't know, man. Penn State, what's going on? Says it doesn't lift weights but takes PEDs. What the hell? It says imagine being your size with the amount of I can't say that. You see that gear emoji coursing through your veins and thinking DHA is a PED. Oh, he's talking about some other dude. Says it's on the ban list is why I call it a PED. It's not actually enhancing any performance. Again, it might be a masking agent, so I'm not quite sure. It says newsflash: Olympic level athlete takes drugs. Yeah, I don't know what this dude's doing. And they get caught all the time. He got caught. It's never the first time they used it. It's the first time they got caught. It says, I pray that everyone's doing well. Just wanted to say, well, thank you. I grew up. Bro acts like he didn't know what he was taking. As far as I know, I don't know what it wasn't supposed to be good for your lungs. Danny Choppa says, take the wrong supplement and you might have your eye drop down on one side. I mean, Aaron Brooks, he's already had a history of taking the wrong stuff without a prescription. You know, the Adderall, this DHEA. I'm convinced he don't really know what he's doing. He just eating. He took it by accident. How many people said I took that banned substance by accident? Yeah, how many times I've heard that? Too many times. Someone slipped it in my drink. Well, my dad did it. My girlfriend did it. My boyfriend did it. Everybody. How do you not know what you're taking? You're an Olympic level athlete. You should be looking at every ingredient. You should be looking at every ingredient of everything you take. You should just have a nutritionist that tells you what to take. Why are you taking this crap over here, bro? Why are you taking this crap, Aaron Brooks? Why are you taking some random stuff? Why are you taking random supplements from the grocery store? Can't you get your supplements from a better place? Don't you have a supplement sponsor? You got all the NIL money, got all the Olympic money. Can't you source some better stuff? Don't you guys have access to the best doctors and nutritionists? I mean, I'm in jiu-jitsu. I got to do all that myself. I ain't got no strength and conditioning. I got to do all that. I ain't got no nutritionist. I got to do that myself. But don't you have access to the best people in the world? Essentially. I don't get it. Jason Whitfield says Penn State wrestling ticket sales were 1.3 million. Penn State football ticket sales was 45 million. Well, that's big. What's the merchandising though? Tell me the merchandise though. If we did all this wrestling, what have they done to protect the football players? I don't know. I think Pennsylvania. I don't know. Pennsylvania is a wrestling country, you know, wrestling state. So they definitely going to protect their wrestlers. I want to know the merchandising. Do they have the merchandise out there? That's for the year? Only 1.3 million for that's not bad. That ain't bad. All that should go to Kel Sanderson. Kel Sanderson made that 1.3 mil. Yeah, why is this Olympic athlete getting his supplements from the grocery store or the drugstore? That don't make no sense at all. We talked about USANA. You know, that's where Sarah McMahon gets her supplements from. Let's see, where does Amit get her supplements from? Amit got a whole team of people working with her. You telling me Aaron Brooks don't got a whole team working with him? She got a, hey, Chamizo, what you doing over there, Chamizo? I don't trust Chamizo to be hanging out there like that. Shirtless. Put a shirt on, Chamizo. Amit got a whole team behind her. She don't have her supplements. I just wonder who. I'm wondering who she gets her supplements with. I don't know. I don't see anything. She got a little shirt too. I can't wear it. Oh, maybe I could get a shirt. Oh, I didn't know she had all this gear. I mean, apparel gear. Yeah, I don't see her sponsors. Well, she got, Nike sponsors. You're telling me Aaron Brooks ain't got no supplement sponsor or nothing, bro? I just don't buy it, bro. Sarah McMahon, her coach is sponsored by USANA. And I believe they are like reasonably sourced, USADA approved, tested. They ain't the random supplements from the grocery store that gonna make you pop on the test. So, you got to do that research. You're an Olympic athlete. You could have won gold at 2024 Olympics. You telling me you don't have a supplement sponsor? I don't believe it. We got Gianni Grippo.
Taking a 24 to 48 hour vacation, but I saw Owen Jones was looking for a match on Who's Number One. This guy called me out a year ago. This guy is talking shit before. I want that match. Let's sign the contract. Guys, I don't even think the guy even trains. Maybe drills a little bit, sits out a round or two. We're here all year long, 365 days a year. We don't stop. There's no way I could lose to this guy. So I just got off the plane from Kazakhstan. I had the intention of taking a 24 to 48 hour vacation, but I saw Owen Jones was looking for a match on Who's Number One. This guy called me out a year ago. This guy is talking shit before. I want that match. Let's sign the contract. Guys, I don't even think the guy even trains. Maybe drills a little bit, sits out a round or two. We're here all year long, 365 days a year. We don't stop. There's no way I could lose to this guy.
Gianni, he ready to compete some more. So, get it in while you can, bro. Gianni about 32, 33, so get it in, bro. I'm a little bit older than him, so I'm trying to get my little bit of competing I can into. So that'll be a good match. Owen Jones versus Gianni. Owen's still young, so Gianni, you need to be prepared out there, bro. Don't get caught slacking like against the homeboy. That Carlos Enrique guy is tall though. He's 6 foot at 155. He cut a lot of weight though. But shout out to Gianni. Good luck to him. Be a good match. Speaking about Aaron Brooks, we got who posted this? College Wrestling Troll. Said Aaron Brooks after a cycle of groceries. What was that guy's name again? Was it Sammy Sosa? Mark something? Not Mark McGrath. Mark McGrath? Was that his name? Yeah, that's Aaron Brooks. No weight. Aaron Brooks don't lift no weights. Who this Zesty? Wrestling. What's going on in wrestling? Got Gabe Arnold getting kicked out by the Brands brothers, getting his clothes thrown out the window. Man, my man Carter looking zesty. Zesty. Who is this? They coming after Carter, bro. We looked at this yesterday. I still don't know what's going on over here. Can somebody explain? I need somebody to explain it to me. You got Carter over here, man. He looking I don't know, man. Penn State guys, don't go to Penn State. Don't go to Penn State, guys. It says no way, bro. Did it? Carter, bro. If Carter want to party, you got to say no to Carter. Says when we gonna hang? You got the do-rag on, got the braids out. He in the sauna allegedly. Says allegedly totally not beyond cooked. I don't know what's going on with Carter. He being exposed over here. He exposing himself. Is that Carter right there? Says, hear me out. Maybe he did just want to hang. Trade makeup, skincare routines, and whatnot. Carter, man. What you doing over there, Carter? Pennsylvania Diddy. What they doing over there, man? Local dads trying to figure out what 24-year-old 5-time champ is texting their 17-year-old daughters, allegedly. Yeah. JH over here. What you talking about, bro? He good, man. He just trying to hang out, man. He just trying to hang out. I ain't trying to hang out with no Carter Starachi. If Carter Starachi want to hang out, you gotta tell him no, cause he want to party. Carter Starachi ready to party. Oh no, man, my man doing too much, man. My man doing too much, man. He doing too much. Oh no, they exposing my bro. They got him, bro. They got him. Let's talk about some wholesome wrestling. We got the wrestling girls. What's going on, wrestling girls? We got Victoria, and we got Helen. I'm gonna be honest, guys. I didn't know that was Helen. I was like, who's that new girl over there? She got a lot of makeup on. I couldn't tell it was her. So I was a little confused over there for a second, guys. I'm sorry. I didn't know that was Helen. I was like, who this new wrestling girl? What's up, Victoria? I'm a huge fan of the wrestling girls. You know, very technical. Look at that technique. That was a very nice throw. Is that a 4-point throw? So snap down into basically a judo throw. A seoinage. I'm a huge fan. I like Helen, but I don't like them shoes, Helen. I'm sorry. I'm not the biggest fan of her shoes, but I like everything else she's doing. I didn't know that was Helen, bro. I didn't know that was her. I was like, who this new wrestling girl? JH says, heck nah. Like I said last week, men ain't no men no more. Yeah, that's true. I told you we ain't no men no more. But by all means, definitely wash your face. Man. I can't defend Carter, man. He did all this to himself. Snap down throw to seoinage. Drop seoinage. Sponsored by Jamie Bars. Helen said this move is gnarly. You know, I'm a huge fan of the wrestling girls. You know, I support them. We got the most humble man in jiu-jitsu, Tom DeBlas. He says that Cade is not going to compete for UFC. Jason Whitfield said that's a 4-point throw to my heart and everybody and all the other fans' heart. We support you, Helen and Victoria. Keep doing what you're doing. So yeah, Tom DeBlas, he's in charge of the grappling over there at One Championship. He said that Cade is not going to UFC. They pay him too much money to go. And it says, after we posted about the possibility of Cade Rotullo competing at UFC BJJ 2, Tom DeBlas, VP of grappling at One Championship, shut it down. No, he's absolutely not competing for UFC. Cade remains under contract with One, where he's the reigning champ and a key figure in their grappling division. So, you know, listen, anything can happen, bro. Mikey was the ride or die for One Championship, and then he got out of there. Someone says, okay, but what about a single cross promotion? Why would they do a cross promotion? Says and now One will misuse Cade like they did with so many athletes. I mean, I talk a lot of stuff about UFC, but One Championship not much better. It's the same thing, just over the pond, over the ocean. Says no, we won't. Cade has been hurt. We can't wait to get him out there. He gets taken care of. Trust me, he's very happy. Tom DeBlas, why are you talking for some other man? You don't know Cade happy. Don't speak for that man like that, Tom DeBlas. It says respectfully, Marcus Buchecha might have a different opinion. Is he still under contract? Says I deal with grappling. Both Cade and Ty are very happy. They will tell you. Also, they can compete in CJI, ADCC. We had our guys just compete in AIGA, AIGA. UFC, BJJ, you can't compete nowhere else. If you get a contract with UFC BJJ, you stuck over there. You got to take whatever scraps that Daddy Dana gives you. It says grappling is too diluted as it is. No one should be under an exclusive contract. Guys should be able to be multi-organizational champs. Well, that's not in the UFC's business model. I actually hate watching grappling matches in a boxing ring. I appreciate one for what they've done for the sport, but let's accept that the bowl and rule set for UFC BJJ is just way better format. I would say that the bowl is terrible. You can't wrestle in that bowl. You're going to slip and fall in that bowl. Someone says, this might be a bot. For real, the UFC BJJ is an opportunity for the athlete to live only by competing in grappling. The same thing for one championship. It's the same thing. They offering the same stuff. You might make more money in one championship. You might get that $50K bonus at one championship. You for sure ain't getting the $50K at UFC BJJ. I don't know what their champions are getting. They could get a 6-figure contract. What's 6 figures divided by 4? 25K? 100K divided by 4. They might be giving Tackett $25,000 every show for 4 shows. He could have done. He got more money at CGI. He could make more money just from teaching seminars. He can get $25K for one seminar. He can get $50K for one match at one championship. He can make that same amount of money just about doing one event at AIGA. So it's up to you. You make as much money as you want, basically, in this sport. Jason Whitfield says, wow, that's a nice belt Ty's got there. It's the exact same belt as all the other one champions have. UFC really overthought it. Yeah, why can't they should have just given the guys, it's very, very similar to the old UFC belt, right? They could have just gave the UFC BJJ people the same belt as the UFC fighters. We all would have been happy. I don't trust UFC for anything. I don't trust one championship, but I for sure don't trust. At least one championship got a BJJ guy, an actual BJJ guy that competed in the sport, has a school, is invested in the sport. He's the VP of grappling. UFC BJJ got that Claudia girl. She an MMA black belt. I don't know what they were doing. Why they get this girl? She got CTE. Why is she in charge? They couldn't find a better grappler to run that stuff. They got Ryan Hall. They got Damian Maia. They got Gilbert Burns. They could have put Mackenzie Dern in charge. We would have all been happy. They got a ton of good grapplers they could have had be in charge. And they picked the worst one. I ain't never seen Claudia. Has anybody seen Claudia do any grappling? I've never seen her grapple before. Actually, I don't think I've seen her fight. We got some drama with the Gracie family. Who would guess the Gracie family got some drama? That family got a lot of drama, to be honest, bro. It says Gracie versus Gracie. Family rift deepens as Renzo Gracie backs alleged imposter. So they're saying this other dude is not a Gracie. But some of these people, like Hodger Gracie, that's not really his name. I think his name is Hodger Gracie Gomez or something. Hodger Gomez. His mom was a Gracie, so we don't know. If Hento's over there, maybe he is a Gracie. He might be, illegitimate or whatever. It says, in a dramatic turn of events following Rose Gracie's bold denunciation of a man claiming to be a Gracie, Renzo Gracie, one of the most respected and recognizable names in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, has stepped in to publicly defend the accused. With just a few words, Renzo has reignited decades-old tensions within the legendary martial arts dynasty. He is a Gracie, solid as they come, family, simple as that. So I don't know what's going on over there. Got some family troubles. I don't think you guys can even see it. Little family troubles over here. It says the brief. It says here Henzo says he is a Gracie, a solid one. Someone says, does anyone have proof that he is not from the family? Why would Henzo support him? Henzo says he is family. Simple as that. So okay, Henzo said he's family. This brief but powerful endorsement refers to Rodrigo Gracie Jr., the man at the center of controversy that's rapidly escalating beyond simple lineage disputes. Rose Gracie, granddaughter of BJJ co-founder Helio Gracie, had previously called out Rodrigo Jr. as an imposter who's illegitimately profiting from the revered family name. However, Henzo's statement now paints a different, more complex picture. One that exposes the enduring divide between the two branches of the Gracie family, the Helio lineage to which Rose belongs, and the Carlos lineage from which Henzo descends. They both the same family. Every family's got issues. It says this is not the case of mistaken identity or fake credentials. It's full-blown clash of clans within Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu's royal bloodline. Rose Gracie's investigation, supported by her cousin Rayleigh Gracie, produced documents suggesting that Rodrigo Jr. has no blood ties to the family. She even revealed an alleged false belt certificate attributed to the Kyoto BJJ Association under the name of legendary red belt Francisco Mansur. Furthermore, she presented a personal ID card in which the surname Gracie does not appear at all, casting serious doubts on Rodrigo's claim to the name. And yet Henzo, descended from Carlos Gracie, brother of Helio, one of the founding fathers of BJJ, has now put the weight of his support behind Rodrigo Jr., suggesting that the man's claim to the name and the family is legitimate. It says the Gracie name has long symbolized unity, tradition. No, it hasn't. Says where Rose insists on bloodline verification. What kind of eugenics is going on over here? It says she insists on bloodline verification and documentary legitimacy. Henzo appears to be operating from a broader, more inclusive definition of what it means to be Gracie, perhaps rooted more in legacy, mentorship, or affiliation than in DNA. I don't know what's going on. Take a DNA test. Simple as that. There you go. Let's see. I don't know. Take a DNA test. Simple. Okay. Well, family's not just DNA. Maybe he was, I don't know, raised by the Gracie family. I have no clue.
In recent months, I became
Let's see what you got to say.
In months, I became aware of an individual identifying himself as Rodrigo Gracie Jr. And I emphasize Jr. here so no one confuses him with my legitimate cousin, Rodrigo Gracie, who lives in California and has proudly fought to defend our name. While this Rodrigo Gracie Jr. has been presenting himself as a legitimate member of our family, using the Gracie name to book seminars, attend events, and even open academies, falsely claiming to be our cousin. Let me be clear, after extensive verification with direct family members and through other means, it is abundantly clear that we do not recognize any legitimate family connection with this person. Not genealogical, documentary, or testimonial evidence has been presented to confirm such a relationship. This is dangerous and unacceptable because assuming a false family identity is an act of bad faith that stains the Gracie name and undermines a legacy built with great effort over generations. It puts the safety of our community at risk as academies, event organizers, and even members of our own family are being deceived by someone taking advantage of a reputation that is not his. And above all, it is deeply disrespectful to those who carry this name with ethics, honesty, and commitment, not just to our martial art, but to our entire fight community. I ask kindly but firmly that academies, event organizers, media, students throughout verify the legitimacy of anyone using the Gracie last name. My goal is not to stir conflict, but to protect my family's name, preserve the integrity of our legacy, and ensure our community remains safe and well informed. I am open to dialogue, but I will not stay silent in the face of lies and fraudulent behavior that harms all of us. With all due respect, but absolutely zero tolerance for this kind of thing.
So I say take a DNA test. I don't know, but what if he was adopted by someone? What if he was raised by somebody of the Gracie family? So I don't know, man. I'm gonna stay out this. This ain't my battle. Yeah, I don't know. Henzo might be confused too. So yeah, I'll let them duke it out. Danaher, he talks one of the keys to long-term progress. Learn to recognize it. Can we just read his post? I know you guys love Danaher. You guys love everybody. Says one of the best things about jiu-jitsu is that our mistakes are usually immediately obvious. When a hold is poorly applied, you can literally feel its feebleness, and then unsurprisingly, the opponent easily brushes it off. When a skilled opponent applies a hold, even a beginner can immediately feel that they're in danger. In this sense, the game is self-correcting. Errors are obvious, and changes and adjustments to those errors have tangible effects for better or worse, depending on whether the adjustments were incorrect. Jesus Christ, this is a lot to read. Oh my God. So remember what I said about social media? Oh, you guys can't even see it. If you guys want, you don't have to live stream. You don't got to post funny videos. You don't have to post technique videos. You can make written, stuff like this that takes forever to read, but it's still engaging. He still got 3,000 likes. I don't get 3,000 likes on my best video. But that's how the world works. Errors are obvious, and changes and adjustments to those errors have tangible effects for better or worse, depending on whether the adjustments were in the correct direction or incorrect. As you gain experience, you won't even have to feel the application of the hold. I don't want to read anymore. Actually, I'm almost done. Let me keep reading. You can tell by looking whether it will be effective or not. Learning to find that unmistakable feeling of effective application is one of the keys to progress. For most people, don't start in drills. Most people don't start in drills and has to be transferred to more realistic sparring scenarios, but it can be found first in sparring and built on from there. However you find it, learn to recognize it and replicate it across all your skills. It is one of the great keys to future success. So that's Danaher. Jesus, my brain hurts just reading that. Talking about Danaher, Gordon Ryan criticizes Kynan for his performance at AIGA. I was talking, if you guys clicked on the video, I think Kynan was like the number one person in the middle. And I was talking to one of my homeboys, Charles, and we were just saying, he just said that, Kynan and Roberto are the two most hot or cold athletes. When they're hot, they're on fire. But sometimes they come in cold, they're getting caught in crazy stuff. Get heel hooked in like 2 seconds. So Kynan, he's been kind of off. He looked really good at ADCC, but he fought Nicky Rod. He looked pretty bad. He fought this Russian dude or Dagestani dude. Didn't look too good. Says Gordon Ryan. Let me just read his post, bro. Actually, no, I guess not. Gordon Ryan has tuned in for the AIGA Champions League Final 2025, and while many were focused on the high-level matchups, it was Kynan Durate's performance that caught his attention. He's always talking about Kynan for all the wrong reasons. Ryan never one to hold back shared his thoughts on Instagram after the event, signaling clear dissatisfaction with Durate's showing. The two have long been on a collision course in the grappling world, and while their paths have rarely crossed in competition, that could change in 2026. Still, Ryan's recent remarks suggest he's not exactly motivated by the idea. The only prior encounter came back in 2018 at the IBJJF Nogi Pan Championships, where Ryan submitted Durate via rear naked choke. Since then, they've both collected gold medals across multiple divisions and earned reputations as the best of their generation, but somehow managed to avoid a rematch. Their ADCC histories have been largely parallel rather than intersecting. Ryan first won at 88 kilograms before moving to 99 kilograms in 2019 and eventually claiming the absolute title that same year. Duarte, meanwhile, debuted at over 99 kg in 2019 and earned his own gold. In 2022, Ryan made headlines again by taking both the super fight and the 99 plus kilogram division, while Duarte dropped to under 99 and secured his second title. By 2024, Ryan was out of the weight divisions, choosing not to compete in the brackets. Duarte, however, had his most dominant ADCC run yet, winning his third title at under 99 kilograms and then steamrolling through the absolute division to earn his fourth. That performance has now lined him up for a super fight against Ryan in 2026, and on paper, it's the perfect clash. Two men tied in ADCC titles. I was about to say ACDC titles. ADCC titles representing the pinnacle of the sport. But according to Ryan, the matchup might not happen. After watching Duarte's at AIGA, he downplayed the potential showdown, stating bluntly that ADCC 2026 is a complete waste of my time. That kind of undermines the Dagestani guy he fought. That he's bigger. Look how big he is. He's bigger than Kainan, and he's good. A lot of people said he was good, so I think we're kind of downplaying this big dude. That big dude was good. Let's see Gordo fight him. So we'll see. Somebody asked, where's Gable Stevenson? Why did Gable not wrestle at Final X or anything after NCAAs? I'm just wondering if anyone knows if he's done or just taking a break. My man Gable has not done any international wrestling. What's going on? I think he's doing CJI or just BJJ stuff in general. Correct me if I'm wrong. That and MMA training as well. He's got his eye on the long term. Gable had the potential to be on Mount Rushmore of American wrestlers. In the last 4 years, he has pretty much done everything except wrestle. I find it very disappointing. I get what you're saying, but an Olympic gold isn't exactly a disappointment in the big picture. Could he have done more? Probably. Says Gable fumbled the ball when it came to his career the last 4 years, and I don't care what the excuses were. It was pretty stupid of him to do some of those things. He never had charisma to be on the mic for WWE. He literally never played a down of football in his life, but suddenly thought he could make the bills. His MMA videos look atrocious. If you watch the past Olympics in Paris, I don't think I've ever seen so many athletes get as many massive deals or exposure. He couldn't do the Olympics last year because WWE is terrible business. And they're in the same company as the UFC. Says Gable would have and should have been one of the biggest stars returning to Team USA for any sport if he chose to stick with wrestling. He would have been one of the biggest stories during the Olympics, but he chose all that other stuff instead. 2-time gold medalist would have been massive for marketing, and he would have been 2 to 3 times the star he is now had he done it. Whoever was advising him really messed his career up big time, and now he's doing BJJ or MMA, I guess. I hope it works out, but every video I've seen of him trying to punch looks absolutely terrible. This a million times. This is our wrestling, by the way, so they're going to be biased towards wrestling. His wrestling achievements are fantastic, but let's be honest, there's plenty of Olympic medalists we've forgotten about. Had he stuck to it for a second, possibly third gold, he'd probably lead the GOAT conversation. After that, he could have always endorsed a pair of shoes let them use his name for wrestling camp, etc. Instead, he's trying to do everything but wrestle. Obviously, his prerogative, but sounds like he could use some guidance. He seems to want to take the microwave approach to everything, instead of grinding like Brock or Kurt Angle did in the minor league. He's competing in BJJ in August. He has also been training wrestling with Sedulayev. Only Gable knows what his next move is, and I think he even surprises himself sometimes. So we don't know what he's doing, man. I don't know. We don't know what he's doing. We got some more about Ben Askren. This might be a short episode too, guys. This is a holiday week, guys. No live stream on Friday, okay? If you're in America, go celebrate 4th of July. Eat some food for me. You know, go live life for me, guys. You don't need to be on the live stream on Friday. It says, unpleasant question regarding Ben Askren. When I think it's safe to say, I think it's safe to say that we're all happy to hear that things seem to be looking up for Ben and his family. We all wish him a fast and healthy recovery. But it sounded like his problem started with a staph infection. Is anyone else wondering, did this whole chain of events result back to a staph infection from wrestling? I genuinely don't know. Anyone else? Poster says, in all likelihood, yes, but this is ultra rare case of what can happen, at least in terms of severity. Staph into pneumonia is also uncommon, but it being bad enough for the double lung transplant is lottery odds. Regardless, let it serve as a reminder to be vigilant as possible with regards to cleanliness of both mats and yourself when wrestling. It says staph pneumonia can happen, but isn't super common. It's one of the more aggressive infections, but not that common to cause a lung infection. For it to damage your lungs to the point of needing a lung transplant per se, transplant is super rare. I like how you say lottery odds. Makes me wonder what other mechanisms are at play, like an immune system response to infection, etc. I, of course, don't know, but I really doubt we have the full story. I also don't blame the wife. She's doing her best, and this isn't her specialty. It may be no one really knows. Hope he does okay. Says, truly unfortunate. Wouldn't stop driving because there's a chance. He didn't really say anything. Someone said, I've been grappling in some capacity for maybe 15 years and maybe have gotten staph once or twice. I say maybe because I never went to the doctor and whatever skin issue I had was self-resolving. Well, you'll know if you get an infection. Rumor is Ben broke a rib, tried to rest it off, and punctured a lung. Oh, well, that can happen if you break a rib. It can definitely puncture your lung. I feel like you wouldn't know if it punctured your lung, though, wouldn't you? He probably was still on the mats, though. He punctured his rib and was still, or punctured his lung, was still on the mats, breathing in that staph air. But you should know if your rib punctures your lung, right? You know, shortness of breath. You get that shortness of breath. All right, time to go to the hospital. He for sure did not catch that early. Allegedly. I don't think he caught that early. I think he they said he tried to rest it off. How long did he rest it off? Like a week or two? And probably was still on the mat. He was still traveling. Immune system was already weakened, probably. Said, this is very likely. I broke my rib and didn't think anything of it, but immediately started hurting. I was around a couple buddies who happened to be doctors, and they immediately called an ambulance and sent me to a trauma center. I told them it wasn't necessary and it was a wound I could walk off. But boy, I was wrong. They stabilized me and sent me into a CAT scan and X-ray immediately. During this time, they were prepping for surgery to place a metal plate on my ribs. They opted for no surgery. I will have to have it now due to how my ribs healed. I had a nurse over 30 minutes come in and take me to do breathing exercises, and every 2 hours get up and walk around the hospital floor. They take those injuries very seriously and force you to keep your lungs working, no matter how painful, so fluid does not build up. So, you know, well, you can't really tell if you crack a rib or if it's broken. Well, you should do palpitations, you know. Okay, that rib, where'd that rib go? If you can't feel that rib no more, okay. I think shortness of breath, you know, it depends on your movement too. If you fell and you broke a rib, not good. I've hurt my ribs before from doing like a rotation. Boop. Okay. Probably not going to perforate. Probably not going to, you know, impact the ribs, the lungs. But if you fall onto the rib, it breaks. Okay, get that thing checked out. Jason, what's going on, Jason? He says, Gable and Mikey's career are very similar. Both were on their way to being considered some of the best ever, but they did so many different avenues which damaged their brand. You know, sometimes you get impatient. A lot of these guys, they get impatient. They want success now. Somebody's put it perfectly. The microwave success. You want that microwave success. But sometimes you got to put sometimes you got to put the dish in the oven. You can't make that cake in the microwave. You got to put that cake in the oven and let it cook for a couple hours. Depending on what kind of cake you got. That cake ain't going to be done in 2 minutes. So I think, you know, some of these guys, they get restless. They want the fame. They want the attention. If you want attention, well, you know, Gable, he could have been winning all the world championships and then did 2024 Olympics. All the world championships again, and then won the 2028 Olympics. But, you know, maybe that was too slow for him. He wanted success now. He wanted the fame now. And in that regard, going to WWE, you have more potential for fame, you know, potentially. Mikey wanted that paycheck. You know, he said, I feel like Mikey, you know, his family wanted him to go, you know, the law school route, but he maybe wanted to show immediate results, you know, immediate cash influx. How do you do that? Okay, I'm going to sign up with one championship. He's getting $50K every fight. Okay, awesome. Okay, that doesn't work out. He goes to UFC. Mikey could have made more money opening up a school, doing seminars. He could have gone the Craig Jones route. Isn't that what Craig Jones did? They opened up B Team. He kept doing seminars. He didn't compete as much, but he could still compete when he wanted to. Mikey could have done the same exact stuff as Craig Jones. He could have opened up a school. You know, he could have got people like Isaac, the movement art guys. They would have been at his school training full time. He could have had a crew of killers there. He could have still kept competing and winning. And then, you know, he probably would have made more money having a school. And he wouldn't have to market like he has to do with UFC and one championship. So, you know, everybody's living their life. You know, I've made mistakes too. There's times where, shoot, I should have stayed over there at that place I was. Or, I should have got out of that situation earlier. But yeah, I don't know who's in Mikey's corner. I don't know who's in Gable Stevenson's corner giving them advice. They're still young. Mikey's still young, so they can bounce back, you know, as long as they don't sign these exclusive contracts. You know, both of them signed exclusive contracts. Gable, he had that contract with WWE so that when they didn't release him until after the Olympic trials was over. Like the same week, the week after, that Monday. The Olympic trials was that weekend. That Monday, WWE released him. So, you know, UFC could do the same thing to Mikey. Someone says, how does one get staph inside from a broken rib? Wouldn't it require external contact? Mind you, says broken ribs lead to inability to take full breaths and cough, which leads to pneumonia and then a follow-up issue that started with, I don't know what that ERI is, but but would cause mucus to build up in your chest cavity. Our bodies are awesome at helping fix stuff, but we also carry nasty bacteria. So even a rib puncturing the lung could have led to issues. Again, we don't know if that was a lung puncture, rib puncturing the lung. We don't know that. It says most guys and gals may try and just power through the issue, but broken ribs require immediate medical care. I'm glad that Ben responded to treatment and was able to receive a lung transplant. Prayers to him and his family. Oh, I don't know what happened there. Okay, I don't want to open that. It says it's also possible he got a hemothorax, blood in the chest cavity around the lung from the rib fracture, and that became super infected. So regardless of if it's staph, it's a great reminder to sanitize your mats after every practice and every few hours if you're going all day. Says so staph is a type of bacteria on everything. It's on your skin, it's on the tables and chairs, it's on your nose, it's under your fingernails. Some strains of staph, like staph epidermis, is pretty benign. Says staph aureus is more of a problem, especially if it's MRSA or drug resistant. Wrestling is great for spreading all kinds of infections between people. Awesome. It tends to be able to get into damaged areas of skin like mat burn or folliculitis. I can't say what that is right now. Follicles. I can't say it right now, guys. I'm sorry. You know, the butt pimples you get if you sit around in a sweaty singlet. Mat burn can lead to staph, joint infections, or even sepsis, which is bacteria in the bloodstream. This can seed infections everywhere in the body, like the lungs or bones or vertebral disc or whatever. Ben got a bad bug into his body that spread, and he was unlucky. Could happen to anyone, wrestlers or not, but wrestlers probably have slightly higher risk due to the close contact. Someone said repeat COVID infections, especially close together, damage the immune system and leave people wide open for staph without a functioning immune system to fight it off. We don't know. Let's move on. We got Mika Gaval. Some training from him. This is kind of old video, but it's okay. Is that Baby Shark? Oh, it's not Baby Shark. Somebody else. We read yesterday how Mika was complaining that Mika's looking a little fat over there, looking a little thick. He been eating too much with his girlfriend. But they were saying Mika was complaining that Dante Leon grabbed his belt. Well, why were you wearing a belt, bro? I'm gonna grab that belt too. So it's cool to, sorry, I was watching a John Thomas clip. It's cool to see these guys training. They're not going really hard. They got the dad kind of coaching. How come the dad out of shape? I don't like when the coach is out of shape too, guys. I don't like that. They're just training, no audio. But you see how they don't go hard, just light practice, kind of learning the technique, getting the movements ready. Some of you guys, you just train hard all the time, can't work no technique because you're training too hard. And you got to remember, these guys are like really Gumby. Really Gumby. So you grab something, they like can slip out of everything basically. And also really strong. Don't forget that they're really strong. So my man Mika, he looking really big. I don't know. He might go up a weight class or something. The only issue is, well, if he keeps his flexibility, he's going to be good, but he might get slower as he gets bigger. And just again, look at the speed and pace of their training. My man's fingers jacked up. My man getting beat up. Fingers jacked up, wrist taped up. He only like 20 years old. How he so beat up? The kid got his knee taped up. These guys all banged up. Oh, I thought it was tape. All right, let's move on. So we were talking about the Fonegra girl. Let's watch her match from Worlds. Is this the finals? Oh, semifinal. It's only 6 minutes, guys. We can get through it. So she's wearing white. AOJ girl. Double guard pull. She gets one advantage for coming on top. And really good outside. Really nice outside passing. She did really good here. She pulled the girl from the border back in. Let's see her passing. I mean, it's pretty. Everybody knows how to kill a lasso at this point in the game. Kind of forcing a stack. So she got more of the Guy Mendez style. Probably going to hit an outside pass to the left side. Little throw. Double lasso. She got the Hoffa Mendez squat going on. A little bit of De La Hiva. You know, all the nice pass. All the AOJ people know how to destroy the De La Hiva. Little one leg throw. Force the turtle. And she's doing a good job of keeping this girl in the stack. The girl's able to get, you know, back to a, looks like squid guard, but a little bit of squid guard. Let's see how she breaks this down. Usually, I think the AOJ people usually will sit back. She's pushing on the foot. Sometimes you might have to give up a sweep, you know, just to get out of it. So she got two advantages, one for the double guard pull coming on top, and then two for the forcing her to turtle. Looks like she's pushing on the foot. She's looking at the actual lapel grip, trying to break that off the hand. Her gi's really baggy. I wonder why she has the baggy gi on. It doesn't look like it fits at all. It's a really bad fit. See how much fabric's on her elbow and shoulders? Maybe she likes a looser gi. She can pass better. So she's trying to sprawl on that grip. The girl's got double hands on the grip, though. But looks like it might pop, though. So she's pinning the hand down. I haven't thought to do that before. She's probably going to break that grip, I think. No? Okay, she might have to give up the sweep. There's a move where you can get out here and come back up, but I guess she gave up the sweep. Oh, really nice. She went right for the De La Hiva paint grip. The paint grip kind of used that to come up. Does she get a sweep? All right, they're both fighting. Stay up top, girl. So the other girl got 2. She got a sweep. And she got the guard pull. So this girl actually should have she's definitely winning, but she might get a guard pass or something. So this homegirl was not ready. She should have been ready for the girl to jump across. She just got caught off guard. Yes, she got caught off guard. Forced the turtle. Another advantage for the Funegra girl. And then the girl jumps on her neck. And if she takes her down, she gets 2. So she's got like a guillotine, arm in guillotine. Pull guard, 2 points there. And a tap. Not the best match, but the other girl was doing well. That kind of shows you, there's a lot of strategy that goes on in jiu-jitsu. At least in the gi. No gi, they can just do whatever they want.
Yeah, I'm taking a different approach to.
I don't know if I can play this. It got a lot of music.
Sure.
Rounds will probably do it all right.
Anyway, Kid Dale was training with Victor Severo. Victor Severo had a good match versus Kyle Chambers. We watched that. We also watched Kid Dale versus Sanji Ribeiro. Nice little flow. So notice that. So notice that everyone's not training super hard, guys. Most people are flowing,
Ready to do some wrestling.
moving around a little bit.
Saying in the interview that I'm just gonna pull guard or play on top, and the training today is gonna be basically all wrestling. Kid, he's not gonna pull guard.
But just see how they're training. Very heavy focus on technique.
Standing the whole time.
A lot of technical stuff. You don't work your technique going at 100%, guys. Yeah, you don't work your technique going 100%. You gotta go slower. Go slow. You don't need to escalate it too much. Like that pace might be a little bit too much if you're working your technique. Now, if you wanna work your cardio, you can push harder. But if you're looking for technical growth, which most of you guys probably, you don't need to be going super hard. You need to be like using your brain. Use your head, guys. Can't play that music. Yeah, use your brain and see what your options are. Keep your eyes open.
It's good regardless of.
Keep your eyes open. Keep your eyes open. Try different things. Explore. That's something. That's my advice to most. That's pretty nice too. You better tap out to that. My advice to most jiu-jitsu people is explore the positions, explore the moves. You ain't got to do the same old.
He used to be, and the ones that don't know me,
You ain't got to keep. I'm tired of watching these videos. You ain't got to keep doing the same old. You don't got to copy Gordon Ryan or Danaher or Mikey. You do whatever you want to do. Just explore the art form. Have fun. Something we used to talk about back in the day was flowing. People can't flow no more. Most of these people can't flow. They're doing Instagram techniques. Can't think for themselves. Playing games left and right. I don't know, man. Yeah, I'm a boomer, though. My voice about to go, guys. I'm going to jump out of here, but we'll be on tomorrow. We're not going to be on Friday, not Saturday, maybe Sunday. I might throw something up on Sunday. That's it, man. Hopefully Penn State stays out of trouble. I'm hoping, fingers crossed. I can't even cross my fingers. Fingers so jacked up. Wrist so jacked up. Yeah, there we go. That kind of hurt, though. Fingers crossed, Penn State stays out of trouble. Carter Srirachi ain't hitting on people he ain't supposed to hit on. Aaron Brooks ain't taking no supplements he ain't supposed to take. And hopefully Kyle Snyder keeps his singlet on and pants up. That's it, man. I don't know what we got going on this week. If you in Jersey area, I'm having a seminar 13th of July. Like a week or so from now. Old Bridge, New Jersey. You guys welcome to come through. We're going to have some food, some techniques, and, just hanging out, man, having a good time, good vibes. If you want to sponsor the show, Nighttime World, what's up, man? I know you need to be in bed. If you guys want to sponsor the channel, Inverted Gear, get yourself some gear, put in that offer code ALEC, or check out BJJ Mental Models. Or, you ain't got no money. Economy got you down. Tell people to check out the live stream. That will go a long way. That's it, guys. I'm done. What's today? I think it's White Belt Wednesday. Maybe. We have no white belts on today. So far, we got Magic Monday, Handsome Tuesday, White Belt Wednesday. All right, my voice gone, guys. I'm done. I'll see you guys tomorrow. And stay healthy, guys. Hope I don't need no new lung. I'm hoping I don't need no new lung. Ben Askren got that lung quick. They're gonna they're gonna be like, Alec, we ain't giving you no new lung. We don't trust you. I ain't got the 500K. And they I don't want to get into the politics, but they don't be putting people like me on that list. They don't want people like me on that list for a new lung transplant. Guys, wash your ass, as Kevin Randleman said. Take care of your health. Drink some water, just like me. All right, guys, chill. Peace out. I'll see you guys tomorrow, God willing. And, Inverted Gear video coming through. See you guys.